Our favorite was Boys to Men, singing Boys to Men songs all the time. And we would harmonize, my brothers and I. But also, my parents owned a cleaning business, and they would take us with them to help clean. And I was always assigned to the bathrooms, and the acoustics in the bathrooms made singing so much better.
So like singing in the shower.
Right. Yeah. So then my mom would blast the radio. She would have us listen to Delilah, love someone tonight. And we would listen to like Michael Bolton and Phil Collins and all that.
Was it 104 back then? That was the hip hop R&B?
No, it was 103. But we also listened to R&B and pop and all that. But
is Delilah still on? Does she still have her syndicated program? Yeah.
But
I loved her too.
Yeah, my parents very diverse music taste, and so we got a lot of different kinds of music growing up. But after singing the anthem at the Royals and recording some original music and then performing here and there, it was going kind of, it was cool. Like I got to open for a few artists like John B in Minneapolis, and this female rapper Trina in Fort Myers, and I did shows in Colorado. Anyway, so after a while, I got married, settled down, and kind of set it aside to be a mom and a wife. And then
still did some shows every now and then.
I did. I started singing with bands at that time. It wasn't me pursuing my own music. It was me making extra money by singing with bands around town, doing weddings and things.
At least getting to do what you love to do.
Oh yeah, it was everything. It was my escape.
Yeah.
And anyway, so fast forward 10 years, and I get divorced, and thank God I still have a great relationship with my ex-husband. But after my divorce, everything just started sort of coming at me again, all these opportunities. And I thought, you know what, why not make up for lost time? And I just started going for it again. And I will say I have to mention my spirituality, because once I shifted my relationship with God and strengthened it, and my prayer life got stronger, everything just started falling into place, and everything is just happening again. And now I'm almost done recording an EP. I did a bachata that was produced by a producer in New York, Onwen. He produced for Prince Royce and the guys from Aventura and people like that. So I got referred to him by Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan. And we just did the video in Dominican Republic. When we went out there for a family reunion, we thought, might as well do the video over there. Shout out to Emmanuel, who made all that happen.
Well, talking about your recent visit to the Dominican Republic, what did that mean to you and your sort of sense of solidarity with your roots and for your children that I know went along with you? Yeah. What does that mean to you? We've been to Dominican Republic, back there so many times, but this trip in particular, my heart just overflowed because my children were there and they got to experience country life. My little one, he's 5, he would go outside every morning and go down in the chicken coop and talk to the chickens every morning or sing to them. And I had to get video. He didn't have a shirt or shoes on, only shorts. It looked like a scene from The Jungle Book. And it was my daughter, asking questions or being fascinated with things, and then going to the family reunion, and it was just all happiness, all positive vibes, just a great time. And then we got to the video we shot was in the historic Zona Colonial, which is where there's a lot of historical structures and cathedrals, and it's touristy, but it's full of history. So it was just a wonderful experience being there and learning more stories. I love asking my father questions because he gives me so much history behind not only Dominican Republic, but his upbringing, his family. He has a brother who is a retired general and has a street named after him, and played an important role in the military. So to know about the times of Trujillo, which was a dictator while my father was growing up, and to hear all the stories. My father's father was killed by Trujillo's men. because they thought that he had something to do with going against him. And then his brother was also killed.
With the rebellion, yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Let's stop just for a second. Yeah. I'm sorry, Luis. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I thankfully still went, but I kick myself for it all the time. And I had planned on doing it right when I got back, was to get my children their passports. A lot of people that may be listening, if you have kids here and you're from another country and you don't have their passports, get their passports. I would recommend it 100% because just like she was talking about, of letting your kids experience the culture, experience the país, the todo ahí, like that, I could tell that it definitely helped mature her kids in a sense of being able to feel all that, experience all that. And it was because it was almost last minute for me of actually getting to go on the trip, and my kids are all like, "Okay, cool, are we going?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, you can't go. You don't have your passports."
Well, we sort of made you go because we were like, it wouldn't be a party without Luis.
Yeah,
he has to go. He's the life of the party everywhere he goes. So we're like, he
Trying to
has
make it
to
happen.
be there.
Yeah.
So we made him.
Yeah, I took out some money to.
This year in La República Dominicana.
Yeah,
What's your
in
kids?
July.
We're literally already planning for
We're
the next
planning
one.
it, yeah, for sure.
That's how much fun it was. Dude, like to see people that I haven't seen since I was 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And for them to be like, wow, you're a man. like, you know, it's like, that's what happens.
I gotta say something. This is, I think this is also why it's so important for us to take our kids. When we were kids, and my parents would take us back, they would take us to the country and show us where we lived, where there was no electricity, where at one time in our lives it was a very simple life, or we didn't have, or we had to walk or ride a mule to get someone, you know what I'm saying? And so to see those things and to see how people were living, but not necessarily sad about how they were living, it was just a way of life, made us appreciate everything so much more here, that we have more gratitude for what we had. So I wanted my kids to see, like, look at these kids. They don't have electronics. They don't have tablets. They don't have phones. They're just living and happy and fine, you know.
And make a baseball out of a rock and some tape.
Right. So
it's crazy that you say that, because there's actually a baseball field like up the street from my parents' house, and they kept telling me stories about whenever they had her son for a summer, and I mean he's a little on the heavier side, and it is what it is. But they would make him go up to this baseball field and play baseball with these kids,
the local kids every day.
And are saying, you're going to go run. You're going to go have fun. You're going to be outside. I don't want you stuck inside all the time.
We're in a video game generation right now. And
so it's pretty cool that you mentioned that, because it's the same kind of concept. Which also, too, my father, I love our family. I do. I love our family.
That's good.
Being that my father also worked at the Royal Stadium before, and we knew a lot of the players as well, we had access to a lot of used equipment, and there were so many years of just being, even you can call him a humanitarian in the sense that he would be bringing all this stuff for the underprivileged kids and young adults and everything like that, to say, here.
What did he do at the stadium?
My father was the supervisor of the engineering team.
Yeah.
So they did a lot of the behind the scenes stuff.
Making sure things are running smoothly, the electronics, the lighting, the everything like that.
So he would always take bats, baseballs, gloves, cleats, and things like that down to that baseball field. And the thing with their community, their village, because they live, away from the city, in a small area called Medina, and Villa Altagracia is like the big city next, or the bigger major city next to Medina. But they earned a lot of respect from the local people that just look out for them and check in on them. There is a sense of community there where everyone takes care of each other and knows each. And plus, my dad has a big maroon Ford F-150, and that's a vehicle that stands out from all the mopeds.
I was
and
surprised
cars.
they really don't have many American cars there.
Really?
There's not really any Fords or Chevys or things like that. You'll see a Mercedes. You'll see an Audi, which is crazy. It's like, huh? But yeah.
Do your folks still own property there? And
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's where we stayed. The majority of the time was at their house over.
It's a beautiful farm.
Yeah.
And they grow everything: mangoes, avocados,
you should see the
and
size of
pineapple, and coconuts, and just so much beautiful crops that they have there.
Yeah, and it was still humbling in the sense too, because where they lived, the electricity is metered. Like they'll cut it off for certain times of the day for that whole neighborhood, and it's one of those like, whoop, it's gonna be hot.
Se fue la luz.
Se fue la luz. Like you can't microwave nothing. You can't. There's nothing.
Vamos a la playa.
Yeah.
Cool off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're forced to like interact with each other when
Right?
the Wi-Fi goes out.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go outside because there's no
Right.
AC right now.
Right.
So it's
But talking about the farm and all the products, the produce and everything. What do you miss about the food there? Because you probably
Everything.
don't have the kind of food, the fresh stuff that you would get in the Dominican Republic. Talk a little bit about kind of the cultural differences, what you miss, what you would try to bring into your families.
So culturally, there's a lot of instances where you may not have a lot of money, but if you have enough money to also help, again, the community too, you can hire a maid essentially to come help you in the house and do all that kinds of stuff. I know our aunt Tia Marisa, she's had Morena forever, like helping out around the house, and she lives around there and everything too. But it's almost a different level of cooking that they know how to do, and it's amazing because, like, as far as what you were talking about, while we were at the house this last trip, what's her name? Rosa. That's
We
right.
had Rosa.
That's
cooking.
right.
She made chivo.
Yeah.
Goat. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah, I love chivo,
amazing.
yeah.
Oh, we had a bunch of family over at my parents' house, and she cooked a bunch of food. And of course, if you want to make a mango smoothie, you can just go pick some mangoes out the
Man.
backyard, and
And the aguacate,
this.
ginormous.
Huge,
So
like this.
I
have some at home. I should have brought some.
Right.
Oh.
We brought
The
them back
s-
from Dominican.
I might need to make a
seed?
trip to your house.
the
yeah.
seed of that aguacate is about the size of the ones
of a
that
normal one here.
Wow.
Yeah.
and it's crazy.
And
but-
tostones, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so for like
Fresh.
for breakfast, you pick one of those, cut it up.
Plátanos. They have
Put the
even
salt,
plátanos in the
plátano.
backyard.
Wow.
Yeah.
If people know about the Caribbean people, it's plátanos, plátano con todo.
Everything.
Yeah.
Every meal.
Frijoles negros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Habichuela.
Habichuela.
Yeah, that's what we call them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's so good. And my mom, she's here during the summer because a lot of the players like her food, like her cooking, and they ask her to cook for them. So she stays at my house and cooks for the Royals. And so we do still get to experience that food in the home here in
Well,
Kansas
you guys
City.
more. So if people don't, we live close, but we don't live close. I'm actually on the Kansas side, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour away from my family. So mommy gets to live with you, and you get that food whenever she cooks it. But
We're going to do a rap, and we're going to intersperse your rap, talking about rap. So talk a little bit about the song you did.
Sure. Yeah. Essentially, so Laura has a great and budding music career, and I'm waiting for it to launch. I can't wait to see what happens. But with music, is again, I've always kind of been on the tailcoats of her and just dragging along and loving music as well. So whenever she's doing music, I love to jump in and do music as well. Back in the day, me and my friend Andy used to jump in front of a computer, find beats, and
guys were so talented.
sing and rap and do all that kinds of stuff. I personally didn't get to pursue the dream. I could still if I wanted to.
Can I mention that he did make the chamber choir, which is an audition choir in high school. He was in the elite choir.
What high school was that?
William Chrisman.
Okay.
Go
Class
Bears.
of 99.
02?
And he had a great voice too for singing.
Yeah.
So
I still
that's
have
how
one, but
That's
it's
why
okay.